everyone, this is going to be a quick tutorial to show you how to create a ribbon rose or a rose out of ribbon. It's not hard to do. All you're going to need is ribbon. I used ribbon from my Dollarama here in Quebec. We don't have Dollar Tree in my province, so I went to Dollarama. My ribbon is 1.5 inches wide. What I did is, I'll show you with a piece of cardstock as I've already used up all my ribbon. I cut my ribbon 3 inches long, and I just used one of my cards, be it a bank card or credit card, and I wrapped it around a couple of times. This is 3 inches, so basically your ribbon will be 3 inches long by 1.5 inches wide. Or if you're using 3-inch ribbon, then your ribbon will be 4 inches wide. If you're going lower, then of course your length will be shorter. Reason being is because you're going to hot glue the top right hand corner, and you're going to bring it all the way down to the base of your ribbon, so that way you have a nice right angle. And then you would do the same thing with the other side. You take the top left hand corner and you would bring it down towards the center until you have a nice right angle, like so. Doesn't have to be perfect, because that's going to be the part that wraps around your dowel or around your popsicle stick or whatever you're using. You can use popsicle sticks, you can use dowels, you can use wire stem. And so you want it to look like this. From there, you're going to take your bottom right hand corner and you're going to not bring it up, but you're going to bring it over to meet the other section that you just folded first. And you're going to do the same thing on this other side. So that way your petals look like this. Now this is going to be the back side of your petals. This is not the top side. You're going to flip your petals over and you're going to overlap them. So for example, I've done one here. So I'm not overlapping them this way. I'm going to take whatever's in my right hand and I'm going to put it over my left side. So again, it's not left over right, it's right over left. So they'll look like that. Now I've used up all my ribbon to make my roses, and that was before I decided to do a video. So this is the leftover ribbon I had. As you can see, I've made 2 flowers. Let me just grab the other one. So I made 2 flowers. And this is the leftover ribbon. Now, as I showed you before, that's the back side of the ribbon. When you're overlapping them, you're putting the right side over the left, not the other way around. And from there, you're going to roll from the pretty side. Again, the pretty side is the side that you want to see. You have the underside here that you don't want to see. So you're going to roll from the pretty side. Same thing here. I am using wire stems. And again, I got my wire stem from my Dollar Tree, my Dollarama, sorry. See, Dollarama, $1.25. I got 20 pieces. And this is what you use to make fake flowers. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put hot glue all along the bottom of my petals. Not all on the petals, just at the part that's going to be stuck to my stem. So what I like to do is I just like to have my ribbon that's all been glued together, and you cut 13 to 15 pieces. It depends on how full you want your rose to be. I like to stick all mine together and I have them draping over the end of the table. From there, I'm going to add a lot of glue to the very first petal. I'm basically going to make like a pool of glue. Yep, I think that will work. I'm going to take my stem and I'm going to add glue onto it. I want to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. And as you can see, with hot glue, it's sticky, it's very hot. You're going to get all those little webbings. Don't worry about the mess, because you can clean it up afterwards. So there you go. I'm going to add another piece of glue to my glue gun. There we go. And with all that glue, I'm now going to roll. I'm not going to roll it too loose. I want the first rosebud to be tight, just like you would see in a real rose. So I'm just going to rock it because I want to push that glue around. And because I put so much, it will stay hot. And I'm just going to roll. There you go. I'm going to add some more glue to the next one. When I first start, I do not go like 3-4 petals in a like at once. I like to do it one at a time, just so I can get the feel of the start of it. So as you can see, that's the inside of the rose. That's the underside. A little bit more. And I'm slightly pushing. I'm not pushing too much. I'm pushing a little bit just to secure it. I'm going to tuck that petal underneath. I'm going to add some more glue. And only at the base, because I want to be able to move my petals afterwards to adjust them and make the rose a little bit fuller. So there you go. In between, I like to take out the little webbing. It's going to be all over your fingers and everything, but the main part is try not to burn yourself. And so I'm pushing at the bottom to secure the petals to each other. A little bit more glue. And as you can see now, I'm kind of extending it to the next petal. I can start to try to work with multiple petals at once. You go how it makes you feel comfortable. You don't have to go so far ahead. And I'm squeezing a little bit. So now as I get closer to the outer petals, I'm going to start tilting my ribbon a little bit outwards. I'm going to start gluing it, but the petals are going to be kind of leaning more outwards. So let me just make sure it's in the camera so you guys can see this. So I'm going to put my glue. I need another stick in there in a second. There we are. And I'm bending my petals outwards as I'm rolling it. I'm going to hold it for a few seconds and then just roll a bit more. And move on to the next petals. Here's where you can do 2 at a time if you wish. Make sure my glue's coming out. And again, I'm going to lean the petals outwards as I'm sticking them. And yes, the glue is hot. I'm not so much pulling them. I'm holding them loosely. You can see I'm not pulling it. I'm holding it loosely. And I'm letting them connect, just as you would have loose petals in a real rose. I hold it for a few seconds. I'm going to take off the webbing, and I'm going to now do 2 more. And yes, this part's very messy. It doesn't matter how much glue you put down here because you're not going to see it. When you're making the bouquet, the flowers will be touching each other, and so you're not going to see the underside. So again, I'm not pulling them. I'm holding them very loosely, and I'm just turning my stem. As I turn my stem, I am just laying the petals so that they can, I don't know if you can see that, they're laying out just like a real rose would. Again, I'm going to add some more glue, and I'm almost done. As I said, these are the leftovers from the 2 roses I did. I wanted to make sure I got a tutorial for you guys. So this one only has like 13 petals from what I remember counting. So now I'm just going to push up from the bottom. So there you go. I am putting the glue onto the last petals, and I'm tucking them underneath. So they're going to be tucked under here. They're going to be glued and tucked under. So that way my petals, let me just remove all this little glue webs. The petals will look fuller. So let me just glue them so you have a better understanding. And these are my last 3 petals. And again, please be careful, it's hot glue. I won't put it right to the end in case I have to make any adjustments. It's really hard when you have all those little webbies on your fingers. I want to make sure I'm happy with how it looks before I put the final petal. So now I'm going to glue the final petal. Here you go. I'm going to pinch up a little bit. And there you have it. And now I can play around with the petals. I can smoosh it a little bit. Go around, take off all the webbing. But there you have it. Your rose. Isn't she just lovely? And like you can see, I've used leftovers from my last 2 flowers. So I have done these 2 and this one. These ones are with chopsticks, and this one is more of with a wired stem. Now what you can do too at the bottom is you're going to put a bunch of hot glue inside the hole there, just to make sure that nothing comes out. And if you want, you can put silk leaves or any other faux foliage, so fake leaves. Let's turn here. And there I have my rose. Now I've not attempted this with wired ribbon, but have fun with it, and I would love to see what you make. Happy crafting!